You will have noticed I've discussed discovery calls quite a bit in some of our recent videos, and it is still quite a relatively new concept to people because some still don't feel good about doing it and even approaching a client and basically saying, hey, want to discuss further about exactly what you want to have your website do, or why do you even need a website? What's your frustrations? How can we help you out? Possible solutions and things like that. And they're not fully comfortable with saying, but you got to pay for it. There's some people out there that charge $2,000 to $3,000 per discovery call. We might charge $150 or maybe a little bit more depending on the project and what we're going to talk about. But either way, a lot of people are not fully comfortable with it. And what I want to approach and discuss is when should you and when shouldn't you do a discovery call cost, okay? And I am going to use examples from some other businesses out there and try and get you to understand when they charge and when they don't charge. And if you can get yourself into that mindset, the next time a client says, but why should I have to pay £120 or $100 or whatever for a 1 hour or a 30-minute call to understand things better? Why should I do that? You can use one of these analogies to remind them that you are providing a service. And if you don't value your time, you're just going to be doing free discovery calls forever. How many times have you done a half an hour or a 1 hour video call or a voice call? And then it ends and you think, yeah, hopefully they're going to go for it. And you never hear from the client again. That's your time gone. Kaput. You're never going to get it back. So I'm going to now talk about when should you and shouldn't you. So as a web designer or a developer or a freelancer or an agency, a logo designer, in fact, you could apply this to almost any business. If you cold email or you call up a company or a person, you can't charge for that because you're approaching them. They never gave you a license to approach them. You've gone and said, I'm going to do a cold email or a text message or however you do it. And if they reply and things go further, well, that's what you hope happens. That's a different scenario. But let's just start on the first part where you're cold emailing or calling up. You don't charge for that. And that's no different to, say, a lawyer or an accountant. If they contact you and go, hey, do you need help with your bookkeeping? Or, hey, I've noticed that you're having a bit of trouble with the ownership of your land. Do you want us to help get to the bottom of it or whatever? That initial point of contact is free. You don't charge for that because you're reaching out. They're reaching out. Now then, the client now responds to you and they want to know a few more details. And you might go back to them with a bit more information about who you are, what you do, and how you want to help them. Again, that is free because they're just trying to gauge and work out, well, who are you? You contacted me. Who are you? Right, so remember, step 1, you reached out to them. Step 2, they came back to you. And you might go back to them again. So there's 3 things happened there, but there's no charge. You haven't fully discussed the project, what the solutions are, and how exactly you're going to help them out and all of that. Now when we get to the point, maybe step 4, where now they want to talk further, and you want to have a video call or a face-to-face meeting or however you do it, that's the point you charge. Because now we're getting down to the nitty-gritty over what they want. What's the problem you're going to solve? How are you going to make their life better? Their business more lucrative, more profit rolling in, stuff like that. That's the point when you do need to charge. And let me give you some examples. An accountant reaches out. You now get interested. A meeting is set up. That accountant, there is a high chance because they want to get your business. There might be a free initial meeting because all they're doing is finding out about you. But the moment they start looking into what they can do for you, what's the status of your finances, what's coming in and going out, what about your taxes, director loans, dividends, all of this kind of stuff, there is going to be a charge. And accountants in the UK could charge between £35 to £60 an hour. That's about what, $50 to $80 an hour if I convert it into US dollars. There are some accountants that would charge $150 per hour and more, even higher, the minute you get into London. Why? Because they're providing a service. Now, if you call them up and you just want to get a bit of advice, they probably might give you that for free. Yeah, you could do that, whatever. A quick 2-3 minute conversation. That's fine. But the minute it takes more than 5 minutes, they're going to charge you for that time. They're not going to do it all for free. And the same, it should be the same for web designers as well. If I reach out to you, there's no charge. If now we're going to talk about exactly what we can do for you and look at your problems and how we can solve them, there needs to be a charge for that discovery call. Ours is £120 or give or take $150 per hour. And you got to pay for it in advance. You don't pay afterwards, you pay in advance. Just like the accountant, if they're going to solve your problem, you're going to pay for that. Let me give you an example. I've hurt my back. I'll call up my chiropractor or send them a text message. They might give me a bit of advice for free. But now I want the chiropractor to sort my back out. Get rid of all the knots. Get rid of all the knots in my back. Sort out the muscles and everything. It's £50. I'm only going to be there for about 20 minutes or half an hour with her. But she will sort me out. But it's £50 because she's providing a service. Some people are going to watch this and go, yeah, but she's actually using her hands and her knee and her elbow and other stuff, right? She's doing something. Hold on a moment. Just because someone is doing something physically is no lesser than someone doing something mentally. And I'm still going to be writing notes. So I'm technically doing mentally and physically and virtually and whatever. There's no difference in that. If an accountant's providing a service, you're going to pay for that. You know, even when they're just giving you advice. Oh, we need to talk about your finances. You know, what's going in and out. You're going to pay for that. The chiropractor, you're going to pay for that. You want a doctor's sick note, you're looking at about £40 in the UK. Just to give the doctor like a letter, or they're just going to go, yeah, this person is signed off work for 2 weeks. You're paying £40 just for their signature. What about solicitors? Solicitor reaches out. Hey, you know, anyone need any help? You don't pay for that. But the minute you now go to them and you go, hey, I got a problem with my family or my car, or I purchased something or whatever, can we talk about it? I don't want to take anything forward. I don't want to take them to court. I don't want to issue an injunction or anything like that. I want to be, secretive. I want to be careful. The solicitor is still going to charge you. And in the UK, you can be looking at £150 going all the way up to £500 an hour. Some are even more, an hour in the UK. Just for a conversation. And if we start to get our minds set to the point whereby across the world we start realizing our time is valuable. Right now, I'm recording this video. I'm just like right now, it's 9 minutes. By the time I edit it, it'll probably be less than that at this point in time. So you can tell me, was it bang on 9 minutes or not? Probably not. But it's going to be edited. But I've had to prep for this. I've done a bit of research. I've spoken to doctors, solicitor, accountants just to double check the values in the UK. What are they charging? I've got a broad range. I'm going to edit it. I'm going to upload it, cover art and all of that. That's my time. But I'm giving that away for free. But if someone now wants to talk about their website, quick 2-minute conversation. Hey, I can do that all day long. You can send me a Facebook message, a Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, whatever. I even get loads of emails. I'll answer them. But the minute it requires me to do something more, do you know how many times people say, hey, can you do a video on XYZ? But they don't want to pay for it. So I give up my time for you to solve your problem, but you're not going to pay for it. Well, that's not very fair, is it? Unless I have the intention of looking at that problem and it was already on my radar, I'm not probably going to do it, okay? That's just life. But our time is valuable. So you don't charge for a discovery call when you're reaching out. You don't do that. It makes ludicrous sense. But the moment they want to speak to you, you should be. I've just taken a phone call with a potential client early today. It was a 20-minute phone call. It was someone who we nearly worked with 19 months ago, and then they stopped because they weren't ready. They've come back, and I wanted to probe a little bit more. I'm not giving them any solution. All I've done is understand where they are and what they want to do. And I don't mind giving them that 20 minutes. There was no charge for that because they're still not sure. Well, they're kind of sure. They want to go a step further, but I now need to know, where are you now? And I've said to them, if I get a chance, I might just fire off a couple of options you might want to think about with a couple of possible prices. And if you want to go a step further, we'll set up a call, a discovery call, and there'll be a charge for that. Another client from America, they had a theme and they want to replicate that in Elementor. And I says, right, I need to understand, what is it about that theme? Or do you want a bang-on copy? Because you can't do a full-on bang-on copy. There might be a bit of compromise. You can't like everything on there. We got to set up a discovery call. Because I could be on a call with them for an hour and a half. We're going over the header, the colors, and everything else. And then they might not work with me. So if you've got 7-8 hours a day where you don't care what you do with your time, keep doing discovery calls for free. But if you value your time, you will pay for it, because the accountant ain't going to give you loads of advice for free. The chiropractor ain't going to fix my back for free. The doctor ain't going to sign a sick note for free. And the lawyer ain't going to tell me what I'm doing wrong in my life for free. Then again, they might do, because I bet they'd love to tell me everything I'm doing wrong. I'm Imran Web Squadron. I'm here to change your life and make you think differently. And I want you to start acknowledging that discovery calls are here to stay, and it's okay to pay for them. And if your clients don't want to pay for them and they want to go elsewhere, fine. Let them go. Don't go chasing. I hope you like, subscribe, share and follow. Get your asses into gear, because I'm going to keep seeing you.
Never break, always fight, never quit, do it right, play the game, win it life, have no shame, there's no time, feel the pain, live the grind, I could change, in my mind, pick a lane, commit and climb, the only way to win it life, I never miss, that's fact, taking